Hey everyone, my strategy demonstration for this week is going to be about the four square writing method. Writing is one of the more difficult tasks for students with learning disabilities. The main reason is because usually ones with disabilities have deficits in reading and spelling. They both go hand in hand in terms of how successful a student will be if they do not have either skill set. So for example, if a student cannot read, that typically means that the kid won't be able to see what the words are, see what they mean, and he won't be able to write out what the words are. As goes with spelling. If a student is struggling with spelling, then that means that they don't know how to sound a word out. They can't think of it when it's on a quiz or test when they're looking at it, and then they're thinking to themselves, what does this word mean? Or how do you or say it out loud? If those problems are not fixed throughout their elementary school days, it will linger on into middle and high school as well. The curriculum will not get any easier for these kids the older they get. So it's important for them to have good writing skills earlier on throughout their K through 12 careers. Before we talk about that, what we need to discuss is what we need to have set up in our classrooms for the students to become successful writers. The first thing they will need is a nice quiet place where students can write independently without any distractions. That way, the students can think clearly about what their topic will be. To get the best ideas out of the students, they need to be in a place where they can think peacefully about their topic. It is very difficult to think when you do not have a silent place to be. The second thing we need to do is have a spot for them with the teacher for her to conference or him to conference with them about their writing assignment or topic. This will be the place where the student will go over their topic with the teacher, and the teacher will think of ways to make improvement on the student's topic. Now, the first thing that the teacher needs to understand in this situation is that they don't need to change the student or how they do or their writing style. All they're looking for is to see how they can make it better. Changing a kid's writing style, it will not be helpful because when the kid has nothing else to fall back on, the writing style may not be conducive to the student. These include helping students with their organization skills, knowing when to capitalize certain letters and places, and to know when to add quotation marks in a sentence. Another thing that the students need to understand is when to put a question mark at the end of a sentence, when to put colons or semicolons at the end of a sentence as well. The third thing that needs to happen is for the teacher to monitor the student's progress. It is important to see how the children are doing on their written assignments. Monitoring the student's progress is good because you get to see how the students are progressing in terms of writing. And when you think about it, when you get to see how they're doing, you get to see how they usually start off their paragraphs. What do they add or what do they need to add for their assignments? How much detail or better yet, what do they find interesting in their topics? It is important, especially for students with disabilities, to be monitored as they start writing out their ideas because sometimes they can make careless mistakes or they don't expound upon their ideas. So, as I was saying, kids will often forget commas, periods at the end of sentences, which will then create run-on sentences that they didn't catch before when they're looking at their papers or they won't expound upon their idea. So for example, if someone were to say, I like pie, then those students, then you're going to be like, well, what is it about pie that you like? Or like, is it the flavor? Is it how it's made? Do you like the way it smells? All that stuff. For the teachers, for us to see how well the students are doing on their writing assignments, there are a couple options that can help see the progress of the students. One of the ways is to have the students write down, have them complete a written task that is going to be timed for them. I would give the students 10 minutes to complete the task, where I give them a writing prompt and they must complete it in that time period. Usually I will give them 10 minutes to complete the writing task that is going to be for them. Another way to see progress is to have them write something that interests them in a time period also, because kids are willing to give more effort to papers if it's something they're interested in. The last thing we need to do is help the kids master the steps in order to become successful. These steps include planning what they're going to write out, composing, which means thinking about writing out a rough draft pretty much of what they're going to do, revising, which means they look back at their work and then they make sure that they just fix a couple errors, editing to see, okay, was this paragraph good enough? No. What do I need to fix on this paragraph to make sure that I'm better? And publishing. The students will be doing the 4 square method, which is a teaching strategy to make kids more successful in writing. Some students with disabilities have trouble with organizing their thoughts, which is why the 4 square method will be perfect for them. The method has 5 squares in it, which starts with the topic sentence, opening supportive sentence, 2 supportive sentences, and the summary sentences. For the topic sentence, it is a sentence that supports the main idea of the paragraph. So, here's an example of a topic sentence. So if we were to visualize this, my first box would be something that would be, let's say, I like playing PE. I like doing PE in school. The supporting sentences provide examples to the topic sentence. For those, you can expound upon it with 2 sentences or 3 sentences. The first supporting sentence would be, I get to wear shorts. Second supportive sentence would be, another reason why I like doing the PE or participating in PE, is because I get to show my athletic ability to all my friends and the teacher as well. And the third sentence could be something along the lines of, for me, PE is the most fun class because I don't have to be sitting in a desk the whole time and being quiet. I can be as loud and enjoy myself as possible. The summary sentence is a brief rundown of all the events. So, the summary sentence for here would be, PE is the most fun class out of all the class in the school. It's the most enjoyable class in the world. I get to see all my friends. We all get to play each other in sports such as basketball. I know I'm running on, but you get the point. I'm just making just a brief rundown of what PE is, or what the sentence would be. And then for that 4 square method, I would have them peer review with another student so that they can just edit what they think, or just agree with them and be like, oh, okay, that's a really good idea, or that's a really good 4 square method. This thing was really helpful for elementary school kids, just so they can have a very easy idea of how a paragraph is going to go, because as they get older, they're going to have to write more paragraphs and more sentences, so that way they need to know what it will look like.